If you're overwhelmed by all the ways you could market your business, like ads, content, social platforms, and you know you can't be everywhere at once, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you how to market your business in the right order so you can finally build a steady stream of premium clients instead of having to chance it and just praying for the next referral. Now, here's the reality. Most business owners, they don't fail because they're bad at what they do. They fail because they're doing the right actions in the wrong order. They're posting random reels, sending a handful of cold emails, they're throwing $500 at ads, waiting on the next referral that may or may not come, and then wondering why nothing sticks. And that's not marketing, that's roulette. And when it doesn't work, they think the problem is them, that they're not good enough, that they're not cut out for this industry. And it's not because you suck, it's not because you're lazy, it's because no one ever showed you the right way, the right sequence. So that's what we're fixing today. In this video, I'm going to give you the roadmap for marketing your business in the right order. And this is the exact roadmap that I used to build a $126,000 pipeline in 6 weeks when I launched a brand new agency from scratch, including a $25,000 project I closed within 2 weeks. And it's the same approach I've used with over 700 video business owners that was responsible for generating over $15 million in video sales. So by the end, you know exactly where to start, what to do next, and what to leave until later. I'll also give you practical, actionable takeaways, including the exact words that I use to book those early meetings. And if you've ever felt stuck, this is the clarity that you've been missing. So the first stage is simple but overlooked, your existing network. Now, most people underestimate just how powerful this is. When I started this agency from zero project, my first 2 meetings came this way. One converted straight away into a project, and the other has a follow-up booked. But the real value wasn't in the projects, it was in the insights I gained. One of those early research calls completely shifted my positioning. I went in thinking initially that finance clients cared most about the volume of leads, when actually what they really wanted was credibility assets that could help them attract high net worth individuals. So the early conversations that I had with my network reshaped my entire offer. And without that, I'd have wasted months pitching the wrong thing. So that's why your network is gold. People you already know are more open, they're more generous, and they're willing to tell you the truth. And you can take their exact words and use them in your messaging. But here's the catch. Your network is finite, and this is where most business owners grind to a halt. They land a couple of projects and they feel good, and then suddenly just silence. No more referrals, no more warm introductions, and because they never built another strategy, they're then stuck and it's a feast or famine. And the truth is, your network is a launch pad. It's not the business model. If you rely on it forever, you'll stall. And that brings us to stage 2. So what do you do when your network runs out? Well, you learn to go first. This is where direct outreach comes in. Now, at the moment I mention outreach, most people picture spam emails or cringy LinkedIn pitches. So let's reframe this. Direct outreach simply means identifying businesses that you'd love to work with, researching them, and reaching out in a respectful way. Yes, this is cold email and it is LinkedIn messaging, but done right, then it's not spam. It's a service. So think of it like this. If you went to the doctor and they noticed something worrying about a scan, but they stayed silent because they didn't want to bother you, then that would be malpractice. And it's really the same here. If you genuinely have a way to solve a problem, it's a service to reach out to people. So here's the exact line that I use. I'm building a case study in your niche right now and wanted to see if you'd be open to a conversation. Worst case, I'll share a couple of insights from my research that might help. Now, that approach got me 6 meetings in my first month of outreach. Without case studies, no portfolio, just curiosity and value. And not only that, but last week I had a conversation with a global finance firm with trillions of pounds under management. And the first thing that they said on the call was that they liked our approach, and it really stood out from all the other messages that they were throwing in the bin each week. But here's the paradigm shift that you need to internalize. Sending 10 or 20 messages is not outreach. That's just guessing. Real outreach means sending hundreds and then thousands. It means tracking reply rates. It means A/B testing lines and openers. And when I started, I was testing a new line every single week until I got good responses. And even then I didn't stop. It's a continual process of improvement. And over time, the numbers compounded and outreach became predictable. And then predictable means scalable. So if you still think outreach is spam, it's only because you've seen it done badly. Done right, it's the single most direct way to build a pipeline. Now, once you've got the pipeline moving, it's time for content marketing. And this is where most people get confused. Content marketing doesn't mean posting reels and hoping they go viral. It's not about view count. It's not about vanity metrics. Content marketing is about building trust at scale. It's about pre-selling before the first call even happens. Now, here's the shift. 100 views that results in one client beats 100,000 views with no action. Vanity metrics don't pay the bills. Conversations do. And I've been doing content now for years, and I'll be honest, it can be very frustrating. It's a slow burn. You'll put posts out for weeks or even months and feel like nobody's watching. And then seemingly out of nowhere, you get a handful of people DMing you saying, I've seen your content, been following you for months, and I'd love to learn more. That's the point. Content compounds. It's like farming. You don't eat the day that you plant, but the long-term reward is great. So what kind of content actually works? Well, if you're wondering what you should be posting, here are my 3 most useful starting points for relevant and high-converting content. Number 1 is tell transformation stories of clients showing how you've helped people like them solve problems like this. Number 2 is talk about your niche decision makers' day-to-day frustrations, like what's keeping them up at night. In my recent case, it was all about not having a method of consistently attracting high net worth individuals. And number 3 is provide value. This is best done in the form of lists or step-by-step guides to make it easy for people to digest. In my case, I'd create a guide on 5 practical ways that financial advisors can attract high net worth individuals, for example. You can repurpose the insights that you get from your calls into posts, and then each time you ask someone new, what's your biggest challenge in your business? That's prime inspiration for new content. That's when your content stops being filler and starts being authority. And remember, content won't necessarily land you clients today, but it will compound and become your favorite source of high quality leads in the future. Now, finally, we get to the stage that everyone wants to jump to, which is paid ads. Now, this is the most expensive mistake you can make. Ads don't create demand. They just amplify what's already working. And I've run ads for years, and they've cost me hundreds of thousands in lessons. And some campaigns worked brilliantly, others tanked. The difference, though, was simple. Was I amplifying something proven, or was I paying to test a broken system? And that's what ads really are. They're an X-ray. They'll show you if your messaging works, but if it doesn't, they'll just burn your cash even faster. So here's my advice. Only touch ads when your network, outreach, and content are all producing results. And even then, start small. And a great tip is to retarget the warm audiences that you built up through your cold outreach. Be disciplined, measure, test, and then tweak. And here's the thing that most gurus won't tell you. If your outreach and content are working, you may never even need ads. Plenty of video agencies I've worked with have scaled to 6 or even 7 figures without ads, just using the outreach and the content and their network. So ads aren't required. Now, why does this order matter? Because when you get it wrong, you waste years of effort. Network without outreach is a dead end. Outreach without content, well, you get a pipeline that lacks authority. Content without foundation, well, that's just noise. And ads without proof, that's just a bonfire for your cash. I've seen it time and time again. Get the order wrong and everything stalls, but get it right and it clicks. Fast wins from your network, scalable pipeline from your outreach, authority from your content, and then if you want amplification, you can maybe do that from your ads. And that's how you build a pipeline of 10, 20, even 50K clients consistently. If you've been posting into the void, waiting on referrals, or sending a handful of half-hearted emails, and you're wondering if this industry is even viable, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because no one showed you the right order and the right strategy. And the truth is, you can land premium clients who happily pay you 20, 50, even 80K and beyond. If your content or your outreach hasn't worked, it doesn't mean you failed. It means you've been out of sequence or you haven't done enough of it. And you don't need ads or a polished portfolio to break through. Deep down, you already know referrals alone will never get you there. And those saying just run ads or just post daily are selling shortcuts that don't exist. So here's what I want you to do right now. Look at this roadmap, find the stage you're at and commit to doubling down on it. And if you've got no clients, start with your network. If you've exhausted that, move to direct outreach. If your outreach is working, layer on content. And only then, if you're getting consistent meetings from your existing outreach, should you even think about ads. And that's how you build a marketing system that works. Let me know your take on all this in the comments. What stage are you at? What are you going to commit to doing more of? Or what's worked well for you? And perhaps there's something I haven't included here that others would find useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.